All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. With the 2023 MLB season officially in the rearview mirror, the San Diego Padres were one of the biggest disappointments of the year. In spite of playing in one of these smaller media markets, the Padres had one of the highest payrolls in baseball last season, but that could not help San Diego in the win-loss column as they sported a record of 82 and 80. And because of that, you've got to expect that the 2024 version of the Padres is going to look a lot different or somewhat different than the 2023 version. But by how much, we just got to wait and see. Now, already, manager Bob Melvin's pulled a ride up north as he is now the skipper of the San Francisco Giants after he clashed with Padres general manager A.J. Preller. And after spending more than $256 million on player salaries last season, you can expect that number to decrease for next year for San Diego. Now, starting pitcher Blake Snell went 14 and 9 for the Padres this past season while posting a 2.25 ERA and recording 234 strikeouts. Now, Snell is definitely going to be in the mix to be the National League Cy Young Award winner, and he's also slated to be a free agent this winter. So that means that you're going to expect a who's who of the highly coveted, somewhat big market teams with the deeper pockets in San Diego to be in the mix for his services. And because of that, I doubt that he's coming back to the 619 for next season. Now, another question is going to be, of course, heading into the winter meetings, will the Padres trade all-star outfielder Juan Soto before he reaches free agency? Now, Soto has one more year of arbitration left before he becomes an unrestricted free agent, and the Padres already have money committed at other players at other positions. And at this point, I don't see a scenario where Soto is going to be in San Diego long term. Now, speaking of trading players, could guys such as Fernando Tatis and Xander Bogaerts become available? I mean, I'm throwing those names out there because Tatis got that big deal from the Padres several years ago, and the real money has yet to kick in for his deal. So, could that be a possibility? Xander Bogaerts this last season, Bogart's got that huge deal from the Padres. He's getting more than 25 million per season. Is this something where you want to move on from one of your star infielders to try to get some salary relief and also rebuild your minor league system? We got to wait and see. There's rumors about the Padres struggling financially. I mean, according to the Athletic, they took out a $50 million loan back in September. How true is that? We got to wait and see. But to me, I think that this offseason for the San Diego Padres could have the feel of 1993 all over again. When you think back to that year, Padres had themselves a fire sale as they were trading all-star caliber players left and right. And it's the unfortunate part of sports, if you will, regardless of the professional sport, where you have a smaller market team uh, trying to compete, trying to go out there and make moves, but they're just caught in the financial crunch. And I know that the Padres had a lot of people, show up to their games this year. Echo Park, excuse me, was popping in downtown San Diego, and it's a very beautiful park. I can tell you that from firsthand experience. Uh, but nonetheless, it's one of those you got to give your fans something to cheer about. And the thing is, San Diego, the Padres, they're the only show in town out there. No more Chargers, of course, unless you count, San Diego State athletics, but nothing from a professional standpoint. So, it's all in on on the Padres and nothing else. And I credit to the Padres ownership, for going out there the last couple of years and going all in, but it just hasn't worked. And I was critical of the Padres at the trade deadline for not going out there and trading Blake Snell, not going out there and trading a Josh Hader because I felt like, you had an opportunity to at least get something back for these guys. You still were in contention, but you weren't in contention, if you will. and you had an opportunity to try to get something back because guys like Snell and Hader, they're going to leave scot free this offseason, and the Padres ain't getting nothing back. And for me, it's one of those where the expanded playoff has really changed the trade deadline because you have more teams that think they're in it than really are. And of course, if you're the Padres, yeah, you went 82 and 80. Wasn't a great season as far as you made the LCS the year before. The expectations were through the roof for this team, and they didn't live up to them. But even with all of that, San Diego only finished 2 games behind the Arizona Diamondbacks for the final wild card spot in the National League. And of course, we saw what the Diamondbacks are able to do uh, this past postseason as they got to the Fall Classic and were 3 wins away from being world champions. Now, on the flip side, this is the second consecutive year in which that sixth seed out of the National League has won the pennant. Of course, the Phillies did it last year in 2022. So I could understand where the Padres are coming from that standpoint. And I could understand where if they're going to say maybe if we just retool slightly, we have a chance to, really get back into this thing for next year. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they do or what they don't do this offseason. They've already got nearly $180 million committed to player salaries for next year. No manager as of yet. And I think that the Padres are probably going to scale it back, in my opinion. Maybe go for a lesser name manager than they did this time around. We've got to wait and see. But at the end of the day, uh, the ball is going to be, no pun intended, in the park for AJ Preller and crew. What is he going to do? What is ownership going to do? What is ownership seeking to do with the San Diego Padres team? I'll tell you like this: they got a lot of big name guys on this team. And I think Manny Machado, I don't think he's going anyplace, in my opinion. I think the possible guys that could be moved. I think Fernando Tatis Jr., I think Xander Bogaerts, and I also think Juan Soto. And of course, I think Juan Soto is high on everybody's list because, and we all know that Juan Soto is not going to be able to be signed by San Diego after this year. That's a given. So whoever trades for him, obviously, they're going to try to, take care of him and give him that mega deal that he's seeking. Remember, Juan Soto turned down about $400 million from the Washington Nationals last year, which is why he ended up in San Diego in the first place. So he's really going to go out there and seek that big time deal. Somebody's going to give him a king's ransom. It might not be a $400 or $500 million deal, but I think he's going to go out there and he's going to be a wealthy young man within the next couple of months. But nonetheless, I think he's high on the list to be traded by San Diego. And like I said, Bogarts and Tatis could be in that mix as well. I think Tatis more than Bogarts, but we got to wait and see. But nonetheless, I think this is going to be a very interesting offseason for the Padres. I don't think it's going to be a crazy overhaul, but I think there is going to be some tweaking coming to this team. How much tweaking will AJ Preller do? We just got to wait and see. But you know what? That's the name of the game. The temperature is dropping in a lot of parts of the country, but things are going to be heating up on MLB's hot stove, especially with the winter meetings right around the corner. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the Sports Discussion Group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. And you can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.